Hello, friends, family, and YouTube. I'm Joe. This is my farm, and we're in the pig pen right now. Just kind of a weekly vlog, just a little weekly vlog, kind of updating you on pig, chickens, and garden crops. And it's cold. It is really cold right now. And so let's get going. Let's talk pigs. We had to separate the pigs. We had to separate them. It's been a week now. And so, Earl here. Hey, Earl. Earl really likes back rubs. So, come to find out, Earl was not fully weaned when we received Earl. And he was taking a liking to Pearl quite a bit. And so, to prevent any injury on Pearl and to just kind of wean him, we had to separate the two. Had to get a little creative, but we did. What you see here is we had some winds coming out of the north, and so I put up a tarp. It is backed by a couple pallets here. But inside here you see Pearl, and she's in there. And she's growing well. But today is her release day. And so it was the best option. And so that's what we did. We don't know what'll happen. Today's, like I said, the release day. And so it's been tough though, because we've had to make sure that she didn't knock over her water. She didn't knock over her food. And she would knock those over a couple times a day. And it's our responsibility to keep food and water to our animals. And so that became my responsibility, and the kids would check on her often during the day. And Earl, he did what pigs are supposed to do. He ate, he drank, he slept, and he rooted about, and he did a pretty good job. So, like I said, we're going to release her, and let's talk chickens. Early last week, I harvested 8 of our 3-year-old layers. I harvested them. I had to put them down, and then we took the little bit of breast meat and the leg quarters off, and we made a big old batch of stock. So currently out here, we now have 35 layers, and I thought that I had enough grass built up, and they destroyed that grass. I do have a second run on the other side, and we just got some rain last night, so I'm letting that grow up a little bit. Inside the coop, we have 14 new layers that will probably start laying in the fall. The old hens have been pretty nice to them, but I'm making sure that they have food and water in their corner of the coop, and they're growing. That's what birds do. Take you over here to my meaties. This is a stress-free chicken tractor, and as you can see, I had to kind of close it in a little bit with some makeshift work. It's been cold, windy. Winds were coming out of the north, which is not normal. But we started out with 25 Cornish crosses, and these girls are at week 6, and they're looking pretty good. But if you counted really close, there's not 25 in there anymore. There's 23. Two of them just, they weren't moving. They were very sickly. I moved them into the brooder, put a little heat on them, and one's dead this morning, and another one looks like it's about to be. You always hope for the best. It never just becomes that thing when you lose, whether it's a pet or it's a part of your food system. But we're hoping for the best. We're praying. We're trying to keep clean water to them, and we'll keep an eye out. And we would hope not to lose. You know, if we can prevent it, we don't want to. So, other things that are happening. You see blueberries are looking good. Potatoes are about ready to start coming up. Harvesting a little bit of firewood, and take you to the garden. We got some stuff happening in the garden. Not much happening in the garden yet. Like I said, we're May 10th or so, 10th, 11th. In Michigan, it was 36 last night, 37, and a few nights ago we got down to 27, and so we've been having to do some frost prevention, a lot of moving plants around, but we're trying to get a jump start at this, and sometimes it feels like you're gambling, and absolutely you are, but this is what we got going on here. I got my tomatoes. I moved those things. They're a little wilted looking, but they're still quite alive. So we got 72 Romas there. I'm not sure if where we'll fit them, but we will fit them in. I've got my little hot box here. I've got a few cabbages. You can see some lettuce starts, and then I have my peppers in there. And those peppers and tomatoes have been going inside every single night. And, we had one night that was maybe 55 degrees throughout the night. And I left stuff out that night. But most of the time we're taking them in, at least putting them in the van, in the garage, trying to keep them from getting too cool. Go on down the way, you can see the difference between the cabbage. Let me lift this up real quick. Difference between the cabbage that had been in the hot box and the cabbage that has been outside. Pretty good difference. We got some lettuce, and that seems to be doing well. As always, I never plant enough, but we will eat what we get. And then down the line we have kale, and then we go to our broccolis. Sweet peas are starting to pop up. And you can see onions are pushing through. I'm going to share a couple pictures here, and you will kind of see what we had to do to prevent frost. You see laying down there is tomato cages, and those tomato cages, we just kind of staked them in spot. We use drop cloths and tarps to cover that up. And it worked. It worked well. As you can tell, it's pretty simple. It's resourceful. But all my planting have been along that cage or that trellis fence so that I can do that. So we need to go release some pigs. So let's go do that. Well, folks, there you go. We let Pearl out. She's a little jumpy, a little bit running. Come here, Pearl. Come here. Come here. Yeah. She's doing pretty good. Nothing. She was a tad bit smaller a week ago, and I would say she gained some ground, just being stuck and having to just eat and drink and lay down. Felt pretty bad about it, actually, when you do the numbers, and we were just around 20 square feet for hog space. But when I went to some of the major universities, was searching for how many square feet a hog should have, a lot of documentation on a hog 150 pounds to market weight recommended in these hog houses only 8 square feet. Now we're about 20. I felt bad at 20, but I feel really bad for hogs at 8. And I get it. Less movement, faster growth, less energy usage, blah, blah, blah. We're choosing to do it different this year. So, Earl's finishing up what Pearl left behind. We'll clean out this coop a little bit later. And Pearl is going to work. So that's our weekly vlog. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Thanks for coming along and seeing our little adventure here this year. So that's where we're at, and have a good day. Bye now. Boy, they are getting big. Just like that, they're getting big. What do you say, Earl? You want to behave yourself?